I'm going to Kansas City. If I could, I could. I'm going to Kansas City.
Welcome to another episode of Chopping It Up with the Cleavers. My name is Emmanuel Cleaver III.
And I'm Emil Cleaver.
Check us out every Tuesday. We drop a new episode on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chopping It Up with the Cleavers. Most places you get your podcast every Tuesday. Today we have a guest. I almost said special.
Yourself.
I'm not going to say special guest, just a guest.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself, man.
My name is Evan Cleaver.
Okay. He knows us. That's why he's on the show. We'll get to him later, but we have a lot of stuff to cover.
Hershey Walker's on the menu.
Yeah, now I don't know if we may not have time to deal with Herschel Walker. We're starting out with Senate candidate Eric Greitens here in Missouri, who's running for the Senate. He was the governor of Missouri, but he left office in shame because of some sexual scandals. He had some financial irregularities.
Wasn't he beating her too?
But yeah, it was a lot of stuff going on. And now this dude is going to run for Senate. He has a campaign ad I just saw recently. I know it's been all over social media where he is with the SWAT team, I guess a military tactical team, and they're busting in a house with guns going after rhinos.
Hunting rhinos.
Those are Republicans in name only. So Republican sellouts in his mind, and he's the one who determines whether they're sellouts or not. And he's saying we need to hunt them down, get your license. Basically, he's telling people, go after them. This is a man who's running for the Senate.
Yeah, we have a political figure, a former governor, sexual governor, who is
sexual predator governor,
who is promoting gun violence during all of these mass shootings. The number one country in the world for mass shootings, and we have this guy promoting breaking into people's houses. He thinks it's funny. I don't know how people have reacted at the Republican Party. I think there's a civil war going on in the Republican Party right now.
There's a battle.
Donald Trump and his side, and then the Republicans who I guess at least have a little decency.
Yeah, but
there's a battle, and Eric Greitens is on the Republican side with Donald Trump. Obviously, with
and Herschel Walker, your friend that you like so much.
His tactics. So what are your opinions on the commercial?
It's crazy. I mean, this is somebody who's going to be voting on laws.
Maybe.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, this is somebody who's going to be in D.C. if he wins, and he thinks like this. He does not have the capacity for abstract thought. What movie is that from?
Oh, brother, where art thou?
He does. I mean, it's obvious. Maybe he doesn't realize that there are some people out there without some home training who will take him literally on that and go after the people they think are rhinos.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I think if there is a civil war in the Republican Party, there's a side that's clearly winning at this stage. Yeah, I would.
What side is that?
The side of the former president.
I don't know. Some of his picked.
I don't know.
They lost. Some of the people he picked in some of these state races have lost. I think it's a battle. I don't know if it's
not
decisive
one-sided.
yet.
Yeah, I think the other side is coming back a little bit, especially since now we have his daughter that turned against him.
Did she really turn against him?
Well, I mean, she testified that she thought
she told the truth. I mean, she didn't want to go to jail. She's like, I ain't going to jail for this dude.
Yeah.
As far as the commercial, I think he's had more influence on America than almost anybody in history. He said, I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue
and
shoot somebody and not lose any votes. And that wasn't, I don't think that was hyperbole. I think he believes it. And you have somebody like Eric Greitens come along and make an ad like that. And I would say, since we're going to talk about, since I'm here for Romeo and Juliet, we're talking about Romeo and Juliet. Mill's seen it. Payne's coming to see it. Friar Lawrence says, these violent delights have violent ends. It's a famous line. They use it in Westworld. It comes from Romeo and Juliet. So you have an ad like Eric Greitens, and that's how you end up with something like January 6th. These violent delights have violent ends.
I was, it's amazing that a lot of extremely fundamentalist conservative Christians back people like Donald Trump, Herschel Walker. I don't know if they're backing Eric Greitens. I don't know if Donald Trump has endorsed him, but I was reading an article why these evangelicals, white conservative evangelicals, support people like Donald Trump and Herschel Walker with all of their missteps, and they equate strong, rugged people who don't take mess as being Christian values, even though we don't see that in Jesus.
Donald Trump doesn't have Christian values.
I know, but they have to come up with some reason. I mean, because white evangelical Christians support Donald Trump, period. They do. And so what I was reading is that they're equating rugged masculinity, tough, somebody who doesn't take anything from anyone, who says what's on his mind, as somehow being Christian values, even though Jesus, we don't see that with Jesus. I don't know what Bible they're reading.
The King James Version.
Even the King James Version, it doesn't say all that.
I don't know where you read that article. From where I'm sitting, though, I think they support him for what just happened, which is
that's a part of it.
I think the largest reason why they support him and why somebody like Eric Greitens can get away with an ad like that, or why Herschel Walker can be incoherent and still get a lot of votes, because there's an R behind their name when people go to the booth. And I can stand in the middle, again, I can stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and not lose any votes because there's an R by that name.
Well, it's also, they knew that he would put the judges. I don't think a lot of people in this country don't understand how important, while he was not getting much done in terms of legislation, I mean, he pretty much did nothing, but he did one thing that Republicans or his supporters will praise him for decades to come, and that is he appointed a lot of judges.
Overturn Roe v. Wade.
Lifetime
Which is the next
position.
topic.
Lifetime position. So, yeah, I mean, I do think it's because they have Republican. I think it's because, they believed that he was going to appoint those judges, but there is something to that toughness. Because those white evangelical Christians also backed Ronald Reagan, who there was never any evidence that he was ever a part of any Christian community, at least not while he was in office. But they backed him because Donald Trump is Ronald Reagan times 5.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if Donald Trump, I don't think he's very intelligent.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't.
One thing that I'll have to give him credit is self-promotion.
That's what he's good at.
He knows how to promote himself.
An intelligent thing, but
no, he's not.
I wouldn't call him intelligent, but we can't underestimate him. I would say he's cunning. What our mothers, if people, when we say he's not intelligent, I think I would lean towards agreeing with that, but I would say don't underestimate him because he's cunning.
Well, yeah, he's not underestimated because he was the president of the United States.
No.
So
yeah, just saying anybody out there don't dismiss him to say he's not smart, but he's cunning.
Yeah, he knows how to get what he wants. Yeah, he's a master manipulator. I think when people talk about he's not intelligent, just being able to talk intelligently about the issues, what's going on. He probably couldn't read a book and explain it to you, but he could. And Herschel Walker would probably have to explain it to him. But
good old Herschel.
In terms of
Herschel's back,
tricking people or convincing people,
well,
he can do that.
The Democrats, the independents, somebody, they're going to have to do something because Joe Biden is not going to win a re-election.
Well, let's not put that out there. But yeah, it's looking tough. It's looking tough. Because I don't want people like, oh, he said that, so let's not vote for him.
Well, I think they're going to have to put up another candidate.
Well, wouldn't that be unprecedented?
No, it's happened before.
Who was that? I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying.
Kennedy ran with Jimmy Carter when he was. That's why Jimmy Carter didn't win that second term. what's his
That's
name?
not why he didn't win. That
Well-
Iran scandal.
Well, I mean, it didn't help.
Yeah.
That he divided the votes, and they beat each other up in that primary. So yeah, it's happened before, and I believe
With not success.
not
So
success. I didn't say it was successful.
So yeah, I don't. You said put up another candidate. I don't know,
But it's unprecedented right now. I mean, Joe Biden is going to be 80. He'll be 86 if he wins, and at the end of the other term,
yeah.
he'll be like 86 years old if he wins the second term.
But how would that turn out? Somebody else run. I mean, like you said, they would beat each other up during the primary. It'd be tough.
Joe Biden would have to just step aside and say, "Hey, I think it'll be best for the country."
Even then, though, because who's gonna step in? Okay, the vice president, but people aren't gonna. I mean, folk are gonna run against her. They're gonna run against her.
It's gonna be tough. DeSantis in Florida, they're talking about he's the front runner.
I think Biden can win. I think he can win. 2 years is a long time away from now.
I think people are looking at a lot of what's going on. Of course, the president gets blamed for everything.
Yeah,
so
I'm
they're
not
blaming
saying
him.
it's his fault for the everything.
Gas
I'm just
prices,
saying,
inflation.
I'm listening to people.
Yeah.
People are blaming Biden for the gas.
Yeah. I mean, it's corporate greed, though. I mean, that's if we really want to get down to it, because the gas companies are making a killing. They're doing their thing. So, just the rest of us are suffering. So, but yeah, it's going to be tough. Hopefully, it'll be tough for Eric Greitens to win in the Senate because we don't need more people like him. We already have a few senators, representatives up there that, may not have the intelligence that's required. Again, we talked about it on this show. An intelligence test would be good, and also a psych evaluation. I mean, you want it for police. The role, and I'm saying this in all seriousness, the role is too serious to put people up there, and we don't know if they have any serious mental health concerns.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah, there's a few
Republican senators that are asking for pardons that should probably just go on and step down because they definitely don't have the intelligence. Marjorie Greene Taylor, when this Roe v. Wade came, she was on social media. This is a win for Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Did she say that?
Yeah, she said that.
I
Thank
try
you,
not to watch
Jesus.
too much.
Jesus won today.
So let's move into it. Of course, Roe v. Wade overturned, Supreme Court. I guess most people were anticipating it, and there were protests all over. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more as states begin to put things in place to restrict, to completely ban abortions. And of course, Missouri was the first state to do so. But
Jumped right on it.
I mean, for those of us who live in Missouri, that's not too much of a surprise. We talk about Texas all the time. Missouri's right up there. Once you get out of some of the large cities of Missouri.
Outside of Kansas City and St. Louis, I mean.
In the middle of the state, Jeff City, Columbia.
Yeah.
Once you get out of there.
They're in between Kansas City and St. Louis.
Yeah. But once you go northern Missouri, southern Missouri, especially southern Missouri, that's man, they got some mega churches in Springfield and Branson.
Yeah.
Very conservative. So a lot of people, of course, what bothers me about the whole argument is they call themselves pro-life, and I can't stand that. That irritates me for them to say pro-life because they're not pro-life. What I say, you're anti-abortion, but you're not pro-life. Because you want the child to be born, but then through legislation, you starve them through legislation. They're imprisoned, all of these things, and you don't care. All you care about is that they're born. Now, I know you all heard Illinois Representative Mary Miller, who said once Roe v. Wade was overturned, she said this was a victory for white life.
That's what she said?
White life is what she said. Now her representative says that she misspoke.
What does she mean by white life?
Well, what she meant to say was right to life.
Oh man.
But
What she meant to say was white life.
okay, let's see. Right to life, white vote, white life. Now.
It goes back to our former president. His influence. He had this way of saying something that he meant to say, and then saying it was a joke.
Yeah, he did that. He did that several times.
That's why I say he's an influence. Please don't equate that to something positive. I think he is the most influential person in American history.
Absolutely.
Because I don't see why it wouldn't be Russia. And then, what I meant to say was, so she can get behind the microphone and say, "This is a victory for white life," and she knows.
I can come back and say it's right
And
to
you
life.
said Illinois
representative.
Man.
I misspoke. He did it. I just gave an example. He did it as you said.
No.
He did it.
I guess the races are coming out.
Yeah, I mean,
They're coming out the woodworks now.
there's no question Donald Trump will be studied decades, centuries from now, and the impact that he had on American culture, society. I mean, we were driving to Florida, and people are having Trump. They have the American flag and Trump flag. Like, I mean, there's worship. They worship this man.
Man, yeah, that's something else. And and that was the importance of voting. I remember I was arguing with some people still don't believe voting matters, but it kind of does because of the appointments on the Supreme Court. And I don't think that Biden is going to have a chance to appoint anyone new before his time comes up. So, I mean, I know Clarence Thomas just said we need to reevaluate gay marriage. He just said we need to look into that when really his wife should be in prison. I mean, she should. She should face criminal charges.
I mean, that's crazy that a Supreme Court justice's wife had a role in the riots on January 6th.
Insurrection.
And she will not, well, hopefully, I'm not going to say nothing happened to her, but doesn't look like it. But, you know, his Clarence Thomas, I mean, and his ignorance, his Uncle Ruckusness doesn't allow him to see that after the gay marriage is black and white marriage. You can't marry a white woman. I mean, those laws were not too long ago as well.
50s.
You know, so
1950s.
I mean, if somebody says we need to look into those again, then what is he going to do? I mean, you're married to a woman that isn't the same color, that used to be against the law. So I mean, he's a hypocrite. His wife is a hypocrite. I think that, of course, it'll never happen. He should step down, and his wife needs to go to prison.
People don't concede power.
No.
People don't give it up.
They do not give up power.
Those justices die on the court.
Yeah.
Just like popes. Popes,
but he needs to give up, and his wife needs to be in prison. His wife definitely needs to be in prison. No question about that. No question.
The other thing, so I've heard people say, you know, you can't be Christian, and they try to, you know, use their own language and be for abortion. And, you know, that's impossible. So I've heard people say you can't be Christian and a Democrat. I know that's stupid. People are so ignorant. But, you know, I don't think anybody is for abortion. Hey, we like abortion. But that's the picture they try to paint. But what I have to say is, I mean, I understand your concern. I know you look at it and see life, and that life not coming to fruition.
I don't even think it's all even about that. You can't tell me those people care. Oh, we care if this person lives. You can't tell me that they care about that. It's just about winning this argument.
Control over.
That's what it's about.
Control over women, control over anybody who's not a straight white male, having control over them.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's about Christian values.
I'm just saying the argument. So, I mean, yeah, I can see that because there's arguments in the United Methodist Church, and they put it up that it has to do with same-sex marriage. And people, as they come and ask me, I'm like, same-sex marriage, that's just the issue they're throwing up. It's about control. It's about who's going to control the denomination. That the denomination, for those United Methodists, is becoming, while it's not diverse, the leadership is becoming diverse. And I think, I hate to say it, but it's been white men who have controlled, and they're saying no. So they're just using this issue. So I don't know if that's I think there are some people, a lot of people, who are looking at it as life. But the way I say it is, you can't tell somebody what to do with their body. I mean, I understand your argument, but how in the world can you tell somebody what to do with their body?
Well, Pastor, Jesus never said anything about abortion in the Bible. I read the Bible from cover to cover. I recommend it for any and everybody out there, and I say that in seriousness because, we went to Israel and there was a Jewish man who was our tour guide who could tell us more about Christianity than a lot of Christians could. So I read the Bible cover to cover for myself, and Jesus never said anything about abortion. In fact, he was an advocate for women. He was revolutionary in his views of how to treat women and empower women at that time. So I'm not sure how they equate that to Christianity, but let's say for argument's sake,
just looking at killing.
You can't claim an unborn child on your tax. So the government says they're not alive then. If somebody's 3 weeks pregnant, can I claim it on my taxes? So they're not. So the government says they're not alive then. But even if Jesus stood on, walked on water and said, abortions are bad, don't ever do it, I would still say, even as a Christian man, I try to get away from the term, as a Christ follower, because Christian has been tainted. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
the word Christian
you're right.
has been tainted. Because of conversations like this, as a Christ follower, I would still say, so what? So what?
Yeah.
We have separation of church and state. So if Jesus walked on water and said, no more abortions are wrong, don't ever do it, I would say, well, what does that have to do with our laws? There's people who are not Christian in this country.
Yeah, I think an abortion's between the person, the doctor, and whatever they believe. That at the end of the day. So it's what they believe. You can't force your beliefs on anyone else. And since we're talking about Jesus, he never forced someone to believe what they believe. But people, they just look at it as life, and I get it.
Some people.
Yeah.
Some
So
people
you just think it's about winning.
Yeah, because how
control.
can you say it's all about life, but you believe in the death penalty?
Yeah.
How can you say it's all about life when you believe in my gun? I need my guns. I need my guns. What you gonna do with those guns? You want to shoot somebody?
Gotta have guns.
That's hypocritical. So it's not all about. It's about an argument. It's about power. You can't convince me it's about Christianity and Christian values. I know people are saying Jesus won. Jesus, this is a victory for Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah. So there was a pastor in Texas, of course, Texas, who talked about homosexuals are worthy of death.
Damn.
Yeah. This happened. It was in June. Was it this month? Well, whatever, the bank that held the lien evicted that church from the building. But he said it in the sermon. You can go online and listen to him. I'm not going to say his name, but it's in Texas. And he was like, homosexuals, they're worthy of death. That's what they're worthy of. Yeah. And so I would ask him a simple question. Where do you get that from? Where in the scripture can you find that? What's your justification?
Come up with something.
I know he would.
He debate you on it.
I know he would.
Because what's the word? Exegete and eisegete?
Yeah. Exegete means to draw meaning out. Eisegete means to put meaning in.
You can find scripture to make it say whatever you want to say. I'm sure you could. I would say, since it keeps coming, it said they're not pro-life, they're not about life. I think probably some of them do view it that way, that it is about life.
Yeah.
But I would give them credit for their branding. That's such a strong pro-life.
It is. Right.
Versus pro-choice. To me, pro-choice isn't that doesn't match, and it speaks to how I think one side is better at messaging and branding. Pro-choice. If you put the two words as a writer, you say choice versus life.
Yeah.
Which sounds stronger?
No question.
I'm gonna say life.
Well, they came up with pro-life first. That's why. And so we had to. The other side had to come up with something to combat it, and it just wasn't as good.
And we're always reacting. What I would say to all the people who are listening to this podcast, I would say start saying pro-freedom.
Freedom is stronger.
Life and freedom. I'm like, okay, those two words that's a strong choice, life and freedom. Because what we're really talking about is freedom over your body. So I think what it really is anti-abortion versus, or pro-life, as to be respectful, pro-life versus pro-freedom.
And for all you who need scripture, if you read the Bible, one of the key themes from Genesis to Revelation is freedom. Period. You can't argue that. That's not debate. If you debate that, then you're reading something different.
I'll find somebody that debate you on it.
Not intelligently. They can't. It's from Genesis to Revelation. Freedom. That's a common theme. Freedom. Liberation. Anyway, we're going to move on because this is going to be around for a while, so we're going to pick it up again. But
we're going to mention Herschel. We're just going to move on to Shakespeare. Herschel Walker, he's one of our favorite people. There was some recent interview of him. I guess he's been accused of having split personalities, two-faced, whatever you want to call it. And so he says that he's in this interview and he's saying, but isn't Jesus three people? He's the
Father,
Son, and Holy Ghost. That sounds like three personalities to me.
Yeah, I would say first to Herschel, Jesus actually never said that.
It's an interview. He's saying he's comparing himself because he has three personalities to Jesus, and it's not a joke. He is not kidding. This is for real. This is Herschel Walker, one of the most intelligent men in Georgia, who might be a senator if you don't go vote.
Man.
But this man is comparing. He said Jesus was mentally ill because he had three personalities. So that's the Herschel Walker news for today. I mean, go look at the interview and find it for yourself. And
well, there's some other news, but we'll move on because we got to move on to our guest, Evan Cleaver. So, an actor doing Shakespeare here in Kansas City, but you've done some other things. So, just give us an overview for those who may not know of some of the things you've done, including some film, some recent short films that you've done, and Shakespeare.
Yeah, thankfully my short film Cody Switch, which I produced, directed, wrote, and played Cody in, got in the Kansas City Film Fest International, which it premiered at Ward Parkway. I'm prayerful and hopeful that it can get in some more festivals. A lot of people worked hard on that. I have another short film called Love on Speed, about a night of speed dating gone wild, based on real life dates that I had with people I met from dating apps. That's in post-production. And I'm on a TV show, Kingdom Business, which is on BET Plus now, starring Yolanda Adams. Kirk Franklin has a recurring role on it, and people seem to really be enjoying that. And right now, I'm here playing Romeo and Juliet at Heart of America Shakespeare Festival out in Southmoreland Park. This comes out tomorrow.
Tuesday. Yeah.
So it's tonight. It's Tuesday through Sunday at 8 p.m.
If you're in the Kansas City area, check it out.
It's completely free. Get there early if you want a great seat. The gate opens at 6. Show starts at 8.
So tell us about Cody Switch. What's that about?
Cody Switch is about the racism I've encountered, institutional racism I've encountered in Hollywood. Some of my involvement with police officers in Georgia and elsewhere, and it's about how black people need to speak in different ways in order to be successful in the world. In order to survive, they may have to speak one way in order to communicate with someone who is on a different wavelength. They have to communicate a different way. So it's all of that packed into 9 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, so I've had some encounters with the police in Georgia, Lawrenceville, Georgia. I went to jail in Georgia because of some police craziness.
Yeah, and hopefully I'm trying to make a documentary one day. Why are black men afraid of the police? I mean, that's a subject that we have to keep on talking about. So that film would be good. I went to see Shakespeare this weekend or last weekend. It was a good production. It was a good night. So make sure you get early. Bring your lawn chair. You can bring your cooler. Bring food and sit back and enjoy some good acting. So how did you get involved in Shakespeare? I mean, since you don't live in Kansas City anymore, how'd you get involved in the Shakespeare Festival? The Shakespeare, what is it called?
Heart of America.
Heart of America Shakespeare Festival.
I've always loved Shakespeare. I read Romeo and Juliet in high school. As a junior, we read it. I got my BA in theater from Dillard University. We studied Shakespeare sophomore year, and then my MFA from Cal Arts second year was an emphasis on Shakespeare. So in the summers, I was looking to get my equity card, which would allow me to be in the actors union, the stage union. So I would audition for Shakespeare festivals, of course, the one here. I had housing. So I was in Henry V, and I was in Romeo and Juliet 15 years ago when they did it, playing Abraham. When I saw they were doing Romeo and Juliet again, Sidney Garrett, the director, I emailed and asked her if I could audition for Romeo, because I wanted my friends and family to see what I do. So many plays I've done. I've been in Atlanta or New Orleans or LA. I went to the audition and thankfully got it.
So you're the first Negro to play Romeo.
Is that true?
No, not in the world.
In Heart of America.
Heart of America. So how's the reception been to being the black person?
Because we know what happens if you're on Star Wars and you're black.
Yeah, that's true. I feel for those actors. So far, the reception has been wonderful. Now, I don't know. We had over 2,000 people last night. I can't.
Last night, what was that? Sunday night?
Yeah. It was a nice, cool evening. So people were all the way back sitting on the wall. I can't get in everybody's heart and mind, but what people say, the people are loving the show.
Yeah, the Shakespeare crowd probably isn't the Trump crowd either.
Yeah, that's probably good.
I would think so.
No, they're going to see something about
They're
guns.
going to see Star Wars and complaining about Star Wars.
Obviously, they're watching Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, they don't like the black characters. Anyway, we talked about that before.
Last week.
Yeah.
So, the Shakespeare Festival is going on right now. So you said you had some more projects coming on. So what made you want to be an actor? That's a tough job. And if anybody's out there that wants to be an actor, get into acting, what should they do? I mean, because there's a lot of bad acting.
Yeah, man, I saw some last night.
There is. I very rarely see excellent acting, film, television, or theater. I would say, and that's because acting is the most disrespected art form. You wouldn't take a social media influencer and put him on the stage with Alvin Ailey dancers. You wouldn't take somebody who was famous on TikTok and let him play with the LA Philharmonic.
Yeah, acting and comedians. I mean, it seems like comedians, anybody will try comedic, but yeah.
Everybody believes they can do it. So I would say anybody that wants to be an actor, train, study, get some craft, some skill, some chops, some technique, look into formal degree-bearing programs if that's not something that you're able to afford or spend your time doing, then I would still say look into some informal non-degree bearing programs. Improv is always great. I always wanted to be an actor. My goal was to be the starting point guard for the Lakers, retire and do movies. Ever since I was 6.
Go ahead.
Yeah, ever since I was 6, that's what I wanted to do.
So let me ask you, just popped into my mind, there's a lot of movies coming out with historical black figures, and these, yeah, I'm gonna bring it up. And these actors are not from America. What are your thoughts on that? Well, I mean, not even, I don't even want to say black actors, because white actors are taking it too. This is a true story. Probably 2 years ago, I was watching one of the late night shows, and Christian Bale was on there, and I'm turn on, listen to him. I really usually don't like these type of shows, but I was watching it, turned it up, and he's talking in a British accent, and I'm thinking, well, why is he talking like that? Is he must be preparing for a role? And he just kept on, and they didn't say anything about it. So I look up on my phone and find out he is a British actor. I promise you, I had no idea that Christian Bale was a British actor till about 2 years ago. First movie I ever saw him in was American Psycho. So I know this is a long roundabout question, but what are your feelings about British actors coming over, taking the best roles in film?
Well, we talk about that in Cody Switch. There's a line, about how I would love to play a character like John Lewis, but every time they do a movie about a famous African American figure, they usually get somebody European to play them. Yeah, it happens frequently. What I would say is, I started a production company, Lucky Projects, and one of the goals is to hire, first generation people in entertainment business, people who are first generation Hollywood, and to hire people from HBCUs. I think the perception out there is that the European actors, particularly British actors, are the best. But I think Chadwick Boseman was really good, man. He went to Howard. I think Felicia Rashad is phenomenal.
There are a lot.
I think Anthony Anderson with the hit TV show. I could go on and on. So I think the quickest way to explain it, I think there's a perception that British actors are superior, that they are better because they do theater. But we're talking about, I'm playing Romeo and Juliet right now. But then perception becomes reality. Because people perceive them to be better, they then get more opportunities. That opportunities give them experience, so then they actually do become better because they've been given a platform to work on their craft, their skill, and get paid for it.
Well, some of these British actors, their accents are terrible.
Yeah, I know. Some of the accents,
and they're winning awards. So
I'm like, man, I could do a British accent if that's gonna pass for American accent.
Well, I want to know, do American actors get acting jobs in Britain?
Not nearly at the same exchange rate. They come here, and I can't really even think of the last time an African American actor played an African American icon. It's rare, and that's okay. They have had plenty of opportunities. I would like to see some balance as we move forward. I would like to see African Americans have an opportunity. I think we're more than capable of playing some of these lead roles in some of these African American icons. So, it just needs to be. We just have to go at the perception, and that's difficult to do. But I'm willing to give it a try.
Well,
so you talk about you start your production company. I remember Marlon Wayans did an interview years ago. Before he blew up to what he's doing now, he said he was talking to Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy, I'm paraphrasing the conversation, asked him what he wanted to be. He's like, I want to be an actor. And Eddie Murphy said something to the effect, you're not an actor, you're a black actor. And you need to be more than an actor. You need to be a writer, director, producer, so that your black actor can actually act. That's what Marlon Wayans has done. I mean, he's done I don't know how many things with Netflix.
Pretty much everything he's done. In charge of.
But he says that came from Eddie Murphy telling him, if you don't become a writer, producer, director, then the black actor in you won't get any work.
I've learned that the hard way. I thought I had my BA in acting, my MFA in acting from CalArt, Dillard, HBCU, which is big now. CalArt's top MFA program. studying at UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade, somebody will notice me. Somebody will see how hard I'm working, see that I was hopefully born with some talent, and I'll get a break. That's just not how it works for, like you said, anybody out there listening.
Well, in acting, nepotism is one of the biggest industry. I mean, it's cool to have nepotism in Hollywood. I mean, I know most people probably out there don't even realize it, but if you look into all these actors, they're related to somebody. Just about
producer, director, writer, actor, musician. It's a family affair. It's a family business.
Easily, and there's no penalty for doing it in that.
What you gonna do? Say, oh, he got the job because the writer is his brother. So
I don't want to name any names, but some of them, their offsprings are not very good.
Yeah, we won't.
Not very good.
We won't do that one.
Faced with that reality, Lucky Projects. We have 7 tenets, and one of them is to give opportunities to people who are first generation Hollywood, who's they don't have any connections in Hollywood or entertainment. That's what as I build my production company out. That's the first criteria that I look at. I want to make sure I'm helping people who wouldn't get helped otherwise.
So you don't want to go get some rappers, and I'm not gonna name the rapper, but you know who I'm talking about. Years ago, he was like, "Yeah, I want to get into acting." He was doing this. I want to be like a doctor and lawyer and stuff. I'm like, "Yeah, no." I don't think that was gonna work. It's what rapper, not actor. What rapper said that? I want to play doctors and lawyers and stuff. Like, come on, man, that's not gonna work. But we're gonna move on. So we always do a top 5 list. So since we have an actor here with us, we thought, and we could go in many directions with this. We thought we'd name your top 5 favorite comedic actors. So we didn't do it of all time. You can do it of all time. You can do it of now. But top 5 comedic actors. So I went first last time.
So this was a tough one because people aren't consistent with the comedic acting. So this is actually pretty tough. So I had to go number 5. I'm going to go with Adam Sandler. Just because he started out real strong with his movies, then he kind of fell off, and now he's into the dramatic stuff. But
several have done that.
Yeah.
Robin Williams. He paved the way for that.
Yeah, but Adam Sandler started off real tough. Happy Gilmore, The Water Boy, Mr. Deeds. I mean, he had a few of them that
I didn't like any of those.
You didn't like any of those movies?
There's some funny parts. I mean, yeah. Go ahead. It's your list. Adam Sandler. Okay, go ahead.
Adam Sandler's
go ahead.
Funny. So number 4, I'm gonna go with Jim Carrey. He started out real strong, and then he became a dramatic actor. Ace Ventura. Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber.
Me, Myself, and I. Irene. He started out real strong. Now he's a strong comedic actor. Dramatic actor. So Jim Carrey's going to go number 4. Number 3, I'm going to have to go with Will Ferrell. He came with it. He came out the gate strong. Elf is still a classic.
Santa, I know him.
Old school. Ricky Bobby. Anchorman is one of the greatest. So
Step Brothers.
Yeah, Step Brothers.
That's one of my favorites.
So he's up there. Number 2, I'm going to have to go with Richard Pryor. The Toy, Bustin' Loose. Anytime he stepped in, and even in Car Wash. For that brief time, but yeah,
Wiz, hear no evil, see no evil.
Yeah, he came with it.
Stir Crazy, yeah.
He came with it. Stir Crazy. Yeah, him and Gene Wilder, they were good together. He was supposed to be in Blazing Saddles, but they didn't think that he was famous enough at that time. Which I guess he wasn't, but and it turned out okay. So it's all good. Number one, I think it's obvious to me. There's not even anybody
mine
even
too.
close. Nobody's even close as far as comedic actors. Eddie Murphy. He started out real strong. He fell off with the comedic acting, but he's back. 48 Hours, Trading Places, Coming to America,
Harlem Nights.
Boomerang. I mean, yeah, he's the king. Nutty Professor is where he really got to show his talent. But that's my top 5. Funny list. I know there's some that I left off, so maybe I'll pick that up. And these are just comedic actors. We got to realize. I mean, one comedic actor that I'm gonna put on wasn't on there, but I'll name is Jason Bateman.
I like Jason. Yeah.
I mean,
Jason Bateman is one of my favorite actors.
funny movies, and he's always good.
Because it's the way he delivers. It's just calm. It's not like he's telling a joke. It's just he delivers it calm.
Yeah, he's good.
Like in Horrible Bosses. I thought, okay. What's your list? Or you want him to go last?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So I'll go next. So on my list, it's a little different. Number 5, I have Melissa McCarthy. To me, she cracks me up. Heat that she was in with Sandra Bullock, Identity Theft that she was in with Jason Bateman, and just Spy.
What was that? The movie
Spy movie that she was in. But
no, the funniest movie that she was in with the girlfriends with my
Bridesmaids. Yeah. No, she kills it. So Melissa McCarthy's on my list. Number 4, I have Ben Stiller. His movie
good.
Zoolander, Dodgeball, The True
Something
Underground
About Mary.
Story, Something About Mary. I mean, he's The Parents, Meet the Parents. So he's made some good movies. His father was hilarious in King of Queens. His father was hilarious in King of Queens.
And his mother. For
Yeah. I mean,
she
just
was
talented family. So number 3, I have.
Goes to show the nepotism, though.
Yeah.
Once again.
But number 3, I have Will Ferrell for all the reasons you named. I thought he was real good in the movie he did with Kevin Hart. What was it? Where he's going to be locked up.
Isn't it Locked Up?
Is that the name of it? Locked Up.
I haven't seen that movie. Is it worth?
It's called Get Hard.
Get Hard.
Is it worth watching? That seems
He's
like
funny.
it's silly.
Will Ferrell. I know it is, but Will Ferrell is funny.
Okay.
He's funny.
I might have to check it out then.
I mean, he's gonna deliver. Even some of the movies where he had a small role, where he was in Intern with Vince Vaughn. He had a small role in that. He was sold beds. He was hilarious in that. The Campaign that he was in.
Yeah, that was good.
So yeah, Will Ferrell. Number 2, of course, I'm gonna go with Richard Pryor. Some of the same reasons. The Toy still cracks me up.
Which Way Is Up, where he played all those characters.
Yeah.
Busting loose.
Sin is good. Yeah, when he played the preacher. Yeah, he kills it. Then, of course, number 1, Eddie Murphy for all the reasons you named.
Not even close to me.
He is the
set
king.
the trend.
Yeah, there's a bunch of others like you named Jason Bateman. I like Jason Bateman. Another one that he hasn't had a whole lot, but the roles he had, he kills. Craig Robinson.
Yeah, he's funny.
Funny. Have you seen that part? He has one of the funniest lines in movie history in 40 something. Where they were trying to get in the club.
Yeah. That was funny.
think
I don't even like that movie. I don't even like that movie. But
that part, I almost passed out laughing.
I did too. That was
he
funny.
killed it too. He killed it.
Chris
So that's
Tucker and Mike Epps are good too.
Yeah. That's my list. What's your list?
I didn't know we could do women. Usually the Golden Globes, they separate them. I mean,
Oh, really?
so,
Yeah. Oh.
But so since I would have to give Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon is I think one of the funniest people.
Yes.
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. I just have to say it because they're I thought so. But I'll get to the ladies on Alana from Broad City. One of the funniest people.
Then what's her name? Minnie Riperton's
Maya
daughter.
Rudolph.
Yeah.
So I had to do a quick one. My list. We have a lot of the same people. Will Ferrell. I didn't do them in order. And then I had Steve Martin.
Yeah, Steve was good.
He's been doing it for so long, the longevity. Now he's got another hit comedy, Only Murders in the Building. I also had Jim Carrey, and then of course I had Eddie Murphy, and then I had one that I had to pay homage to Dillard University alumni Garrett Morris.
Oh yeah.
Look at Garrett Morris's career.
But those are more. He does more television.
This is supposed to be only for movies.
Well, yeah, we said comedic actor,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah.
actor, so.
I can't think
So-
of anybody who's been on a hit television sitcom
On 5 straight
every
decades. 5 straight decades.
Name
he's been-
the shows he's been on.
Saturday
Night
Night.
Live, the Jamie Foxx show,
Right, Martin.
Two
Broke Girls.
I never watched that, so he was on there. Was he
He's
good?
he's a main character on there.
Yeah, he's a
On
main
Two
character.
Broke Girls.
2 Broke Girls.
They
yeah.
work for him.
No, he works in the place that they work.
Okay.
The diner where they work.
Okay.
And I only watch it because I don't have cable, and so that's one of the channels that I just 38 was one of the channels that I tuned into. But yeah, and I don't know what he did in the 80s. He did. That was the move. That's the time I can't remember. I know he was in some stuff, but I don't know if he was in a television show in the 80s because Martin was the 90s, Jamie Foxx was 2000, and Two Broke Girls was 2010.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx show was a little bit before that, but you his career not just he was on hit sitcoms.
Yeah.
And then I did an honorable mention, Bill Murray,
Bill Murray's good.
What about Bob?
Chris Farley, who we lost to.
Yeah.
If
If he had stuck around, he'd probably be on.
he would be on our top 5.
Yeah.
He'd be on my top 5.
Yeah, he'd be on mine too.
Tommy
Because he only made 2 movies.
Tommy
And
Boy,
they were
Black
funny.
Sheep. I mean,
Yeah.
if he
Black Sheep was
just
good.
lost him too soon. And then I had
Kill Whitey. Yeah.
we lost him way
He's
too
good.
soon. Chris Farley, I just had to mention him because if we hadn't lost him, there's no way he wouldn't have cracked the list. Charlie Chaplin, which is somebody you just have to pay homage to. Talking about creating your own stuff.
When I took a silent film class at UMKC, so I mean I've seen Charlie Chaplin. I know, yeah, he was good. I mean, and another actor that Lincoln Perry that people put down, Step and Fetch It, the guy that plays Step. If you go watch his movies, I guarantee you are going to crack up. There's a short movie called The Laziest Man in the World, I promise you are going to crack up watching this. He is a genius comedic actor.
You know who else is? Oh, are you got? Go
The
ahead.
last one I had was Ben Stiller. Somebody else said
Yeah.
I just when I was looking at Ben Stiller and Steve Martin, I was like, if Ben Stiller does it as long as Steve Martin, then I would bump him up.
You know, a comedic actor that doesn't get a lot of props is David Allen Greer. To me, I mean, every role he plays, when he played the preacher on Martin, he killed it. When he played in Boomerang, I mean, just his roles in Boomerang.
Martial artist.
Yeah.
He's a martial artist.
He's a martial artist?
Yeah, he's can't remember the discipline. I want to say kung fu, but I'm not sure. If you go watch Blank Man,
Yeah, Blank Man.
go watch those moves that he does. You can tell that he
That he's
knows
for
what
real.
he's doing.
Yeah.
He won a Tony Award too. Just won a Tony Award for a soldier's play. So yeah, I mean he's a real deal. Just saw him on he had a part on a Black Lady sketch show.
Yeah.
You watched that?
I've seen 2 seasons of that. Yeah. So that's the list. Let us know what you think. I'm sure there's some folk we left off
lot
the
of
list.
people, I'm
Jason
sure.
Sudeikis is also somebody I like. What's his name? Seth Rogen is another favorite one. The list goes on and on. So let us know what you think in the comments. Check us out every Tuesday. We drop a new episode. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chopping It Up with the Cleavers. Most places you get your podcast every single week. Thanks for joining.
We'll see you next week. Peace.
I'm of the modest.